Hello mga bro at bes! Gusto nyo bang maging bahagi ng YTV? Ano pang hinihintay nyo? Arat na! Explore new talents and new skills, expand your connections as you make new friends, and experience a new way of serving the Lord.
Yes naman, ito na naman tayo mga kapatid, nagsasama-sama para sa programa ng kabataan, kasama ang kabataan para sa kabataan. Ito ang YTV, Youth TV, Your TV, Season 2!
Season 2 pa nga! Pero kami pa rin to! Walang nagbago! Livestream pa rin tayo sa ACY Facebook page at YouTube channel!
Lunes hanggang Sabado tuwing 7:30 ng gabi. O diba, tuloy-tuloy ang saya.
Ang exciting! Mas pina-exciting!
Check!
Mas maraming matututunan!
Check na check!
At talaga namang patuloy tayong mapapayes kay Lord!
Check na check na check!
Ako si Kuya Marbs!
At ako naman si Ate Marie.
At ito ang Chooseday Tuesday!
Choose truth,
Choose love and choose to say yes to God! One of the signs that you're on the road to adulting is our entry to the world of work or being an employed individual.
But due to the pandemic, we saw the rise of unemployment and a big economic loss of revenue.
But according to the International Labor Organization, the pandemic also gave way to the shift to work from home setup and to the creation of a lot of digital jobs.
61% of the world's working population are considered to have shifted to informal setup or the work from home setup, and it's tough to be productive at home.
Tonight's episode will be very helpful to you if you are a fresh grad who landed your first job or you just have switched to a new company or a new career.
Our episode tonight can also help us in the future once we get back on our feet after the much dreaded pandemic.
Being the office newbie comes with no such manual. And that is why we invited a very special guest tonight that will surely help us cope with the mini stress of being the office newbie.
She is a famous TikTok personality, and most of her contents are tips for making the life of an employee as light as it can be. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Tita G of TikTok.
Yes. In a heartbeat, yes. For me, it's really hard na, lalo na pag baguhan ka sa office kasi, alam mo yon parang, ako kasi, like for me, nung lumipat ako ng job ko, kasi yung current work ko ngayon, it's my second job. So, I've been working for the past 8 years. So, dun sa aking first job, I stayed there for 2 years and it was a small to medium company. The group that I was working with was a very tight group. And yung mga colleagues ko doon were like my bestest of friends. So, nung dumating yung araw na kailangan kong lumipat ng trabaho sa kung saan ako nagtatrabaho ngayon, I have to admit that it wasn't really the easiest transition for me. And you might ask me why, no? Kasi for me, no, whenever you start something new, a new job, it's both a personal and professional change. It's a personal change kasi like, when you start a new job, magbabago lahat ng relationships mo. Yung mga best friends mo sa work ay iba na. Yung nakaugalian mo kasama at routine during lunchtime, iba na. yung mga everyday conversations mo with your usuals are different kasi you're starting a whole new life in this new work. So, iba na yung makakausap mo. And then professionally naman, you're also changing from one culture to another. So like for me, the first company that I worked for was a small to medium enterprise. So, syempre medyo agile yung work. I mean, mas pag small to medium kasi mas marami kang tinitake on na job, mas marami kang napupunta kasi iba't ibang segments kasi it's a lean team. Now, itong job ko na nilipatan is actually a multinational company. So, culture shock. Diba? So, both professionally and personally, you really have to parang deal with a lot of changes. And for me, sobrang kakaiba yung feeling kasi like, hindi ito yung nakasanayan ko. And yun nga, it was an uncomfortable feeling. Pero sabi nga nila, diba, for you to be able to really move forward and to, notice the big changes in your life, you have to welcome the uncomfortable feeling. So, yeah, in a heartbeat, kaya sabi ko, yes, mahirap maging new kid on the block, pero kaya. Kasi nga, yung awkwardness, yung uncomfortable feeling is only difficult sa simula. And yun nga, ngayon, looking back, I'm now 6 years dito sa aking job na nilipatan and I will always acknowledge na mahirap yung naging simula ko, but it gets better in time. Siguro din sa mga companies ngayon at saka sa mga organizations ngayon, I think we have to acknowledge that the workplace that we are all working in, karamihan sa atin ngayon, is really, really flexible. Meaning it's mobile, di ba? Karamihan sa atin ngayon, especially when the pandemic hit last year, lahat tayo ay na-force na mag-work ng remotely. Schools changed to a remote setup. Ngayon nga, sabi nga nila, hindi na nga remote yung tawag, hybrid na nga yung setup. Wherein, yun nga, we come up with so many ways for us to stay productive, no? And hindi naging madali yung change, no? Kahit ako, like for example, I work for a technology company. Working from home when the pandemic hit was very stress-inducing for me because I'm a very social person. I love sitting down at the office and talking to my colleagues, and I love getting lunch. I love bouncing off my ideas in person. Pero wala tayong magawa eh. Ganun eh. Parang we were forced into this situation because of the current health crisis. And so we must also learn how to be flexible. So for example, I'm a very social person. The way I cope with that, with that desire to be with my colleagues is actually intentional that whenever we have meetings or whenever we do catch-ups, I make sure that I always spend extra time, like for example, 10 minutes before the meeting, I use that time to catch up with my colleagues to talk about non-work stuff. Just to parang, alam mo yun, just to get that sense of humanity na, ayun, kahit na hindi tayo magkasama sa office, we're still one team. So I think that's also something that the current workforce now is also building that muscle, no, na yun nga, kasi I think from this day forward, talagang mas aware na ngayon yung mga organizations and companies that something like this pandemic is not something that would go away tomorrow or even the next few months. I mean, hopefully, di ba, sana ganun siya kabilis na mag-ease, pero hindi eh. So therefore, ikaw din as a professional, you must be also able to acknowledge the fact that the future of the workplace is really flexible. So we must be able to, mold ourselves and adapt, no? And at the same time, equip as well ourselves kung paano ba natin maiibsan yung kakulangan ng mga physical work, yung mga physical interactions na ito at saka yung usual workplace na nakaugalian natin nung nakaraan. So, yun. So, sige, I'll start with ano ba ang mga natutunan ko nung newbie ako as a fresh grad. The biggest lesson talaga, no, for any fresh grad, at least for me was hindi ko talaga alam lahat. Siyempre, pag fresh graduate ka, fresh graduate ako noon, sobrang confident ako na, ayan, graduate ako from a good school and I was able to graduate with, good grades. So I was, very confident na I'm gonna excel and I'm gonna do well, but hindi eh. Hindi ganun eh. So, nung una, nahirapan din akong i-accept at parang naiinis ako sa sarili ko kasi parang why am I not performing enough? I imagined a future where I would excel, where I would make the biggest impact in the organization, pero why do I often end up, being challenged and failing? And, ngayon, looking back at myself doon sa bagong fresh grad na Grace na nagtatrabaho before is, I wish I gave myself more credit. Because when you are working and when you're bago ka, whether fresh grad ka or kakalipat mo lang sa isang company, I think lahat naman tayo, we are all trying our best to fit in, to give our contributions and to make an impact in the company. Sometimes nga lang, we fail. Sometimes we encounter challenges, and that's okay. As long as we know how to move forward. So, yun nga, I guess that's also something na sana mas binigyan ko ng pansin before is to also give myself credit where credit is due. Because lahat naman tayo are, yun nga, trying our best to become better every day. So, yun yung isa sa mga biggest lessons ko rin na hanggang ngayon, consciously ginagawa ko pa rin siya na kahit hindi na ako bago, di ba? Kahit 6 years na ako sa current work ko, from time to time, actually, nagkakaroon pa rin ako ng mga little mishaps along the way. And yun nga, ang instinct ko talaga is parang, ano ba? Ang tagal ko na nagtatrabaho, ba't ganon? Pero hindi eh. Every day may mga bago ka talagang challenges na, maaari mong harapin, no? And it's really how you react and how you move forward with that situation. So how do you take this challenge and turn it into something else, turn it into something more productive, and turn it into something that would contribute to your improvement as a person. So yun yung isa sa mga pinaka-biggest lessons ko when I was just starting out. And then nung bagong hire naman ako, kakalipat ko lang is, yun nga, pag bagong lipat ka rin kasi, you are in a position wherein hindi mo alam paano ka talaga gagalaw dito sa bagong company. Pero ako as long as clear ka kasi kung ano ba talaga yung goal and objective mo when you work. Like for example, for me, basta ako ang principle ko sa life is, I would want to do my best to create good impact to whatever work that I do and contribute to the success of the organization. That's what kept me grounded dito sa current work ko. So kahit nung bago pa lang ako at kahit minsan awkward yung situation kasi wala akong kakilala, hindi pa ako ganun ka-confident na kausapin yung mga bosses ko, yung manager ko, pero as long as I'm able to, keep myself grounded with that philosophy that as long as the output that I do contributes to the success of the company and as long as I'm making good impact, then at least I will get there. I am getting by every day. So that's what kept me sane in my first 3 months dito sa aking current work. And yun nga, same with din actually yung kakastart mo lang na yun nga. Also give yourself really credit, no? Kasi hindi madali ang maglipat ng trabaho. I can only imagine lalo na ngayon, remote work. Imagine, wala kang orientation na physical, hindi mo ma-meet yung HR, hindi mo ma-meet yung bago mong office mates. I can only imagine that it would be 10 times more challenging than, starting a new job on site. Pero, yun. As long as you know what your truth is, what are your goals, bakit ka ba nagtrabaho dyan, at saka ano ba talaga ang purpose mo, and as long as ginagawa mo naman ang trabaho mo ng maayos, then take it one day at a time. You can't expect naman to parang perfect your relationships and the way that you work on your first day or even your first week, diba? So, yun. Ang pinaka-importante for me, number one, what to do, whether may pandemic or not, is I make a conscious effort towards working on my personal and professional development. Kasi may pandemic man or wala, development when working on yourself and on your professional growth is something that you would really be able to use no matter anong situation mo. So when I say personal development, it means I'm consciously, upskilling myself, surrounding myself with information, updates, things that I like to do, things that I like to improve. so that I continue to, continue to make myself grow, whatever state I am in right now. And when I say professional development naman, it means that I'm also having this conscious effort sa sarili ko na matuto at mag-aral sa kung ano man yung gusto kong gawing trabaho. So for example, ako, I work in the technology industry pero I'm not a technology graduate. So meaning, hindi ako ganun ka-techie. Pero since I work in the tech industry, lahat ng networks ko ay nasa technology industry. So for me to be able to also network properly and for me to be able to expand my network and, reach more people, make more impact in the community that I serve, I make a conscious effort to learn about technology kahit na madugo at kahit na sumasakit yung ulo ko sa technology na yan. Pero yun nga, it's part of my professional pathway because that's where my career is right now. So yun nga, professional and personal development, pinaka-importante kasi with or without the pandemic, you are contributing to your growth as a person, as an individual, and as a professional. Number 2, siguro is yung learn, unlearn, relearn na principle sa buhay. This applies sa inyong personal and professional life din. So, when we say learn, unlearn, and relearn, especially ngayong pandemic, I think this one is very, very popular. Pag sinabi mo kasing unlearn, let's start with unlearn. So for example, ako, before, part kasi ng trabaho ko is sometimes I do come up with creatives or graphics. So before, hindi ako talaga marunong gumamit ng any graphic software. Like, nangangapa ako, nag-tutorial pa ako para magawa siya. And I was using another software for me to create all of the graphics. And it takes me like an hour and a half to finish one social media post. Now, ngayon, may dumating na bagong software. So, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Canva. So, it's a free software. You can use it online. And I had to parang try this out. And parang yung notion sa mind ko is parang sayang naman yung knowledge ko doon sa old software na ginagamit ko that, pinag-aralan ko na matagal. Only to shift my knowledge, only to shift my output in using this new software na, mas madaling gumawa ng social media graphics. But eventually, I had to unlearn and let go of that old technology for me to be able to, work smarter and, come up with faster social media posts with a free tool like, tulad ng Canva. So yun yung parang concept ng unlearn na, sometimes you have to let go of our old ways for us to be able to work smarter. Diba yun yung sinasabi nila na work smart, don't work hard but work smart, meaning achieve for the same goal but learn how to be more productive and come up with better ways for you to finish your tasks earlier and on time, earlier pero still delivering the same results. And then yung pag sinabi na mating relearn, always be conscious that sometimes may mga bagay na kailangan mong matutunan ulit. And not just because you know about the thing is pwede ka nang agad-agad na to talk about it. So always consciously put yourself in a position na para kang sponge, meaning willing kang i-absorb yung mga learnings, diba? And of course, retain kung ano yung importante sa iyo. So yun, be willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn is my number 2. And the number 3 is yun, be conscious of your passion and actively pursue what you are passionate about. Sabi nga nila, di ba, yung passion mo is something na hindi mo kaya maraming sasabi na hindi mo kaya pagsabihin yung passion mo tsaka yung real work mo. Pero ako, for me, that's what actually kept me going. So for example, for me, my passion is really, making a difference in the lives of the people that I work with. Yun nga, creating impact in the communities that I work with. So that's what keeps me in check. And yung mga outputs ko sa work, no matter anong klaseng business output man yan, I always tie it back to what I'm passionate about. Na yun nga, whatever work that I do, kailangan laging nandyan yung impact at saka yung effect na aking ginagawa. And I think yun din yung reason kung bakit mas nag-enjoy ako sa trabaho ko ngayon, why I'm able to proudly say that I love what I do and I love working with the people that I work with. It's because yun nga, na-apply ko yung aking passion sa aking ginagawa. At hindi ko man siya maaring gawin na, as something na kaya ko siyang gawin everyday, pero at least I keep it in check and it's what keeps me inspired. So, yun, yung aking number 3, passionate. Keep your passion in check. Okay, eto. Number 4, cultivating empathy in everything that you do. So more than ever, during this pandemic, I think that's something that we all have to really practice and take into account, and that's actually to empathize with one another. So empathy is a very critical skill. For me, I think it's a very critical skill that we all need to consciously apply in our lives. Kasi lalo na ngayong pandemic, iba-iba tayo ng sitwasyon, iba-iba tayo ng pinanggagalingan, at iba-iba kung ano ang meron tayo. So what's true for me may not necessarily be true for others. For example, I'm very privileged to have a job that allows me to work from home. But that is not the same case for other people who need to go outside to work for their families. So more than ever, we need to be able to exercise empathy in our relationships and the people that we talk to, the way we express ourselves, the way we, even deal with our businesses. Cultivating empathy allows us to be, allows us to create a kinder environment, and an environment that is more inclusive. So, ito nga yung sanang wish ko na sana mas matutunan ng karamihan sa atin, no? Lalo na tayo, like, yun nga, ako kasi I work sa technology company, tapos ang sineserve namin ay education sector. So, I work with a lot of teachers, at yung mga teachers na nakakatrabaho ko, lagi nila sinasabi sa akin na bawat guro naman ay talagang ginagawa ang best nila na para ma-reach ang bawat estudyante. Pero yun nga, ang mga students natin ngayon, they're not all in the same room. So meaning iba-iba yung reality sila. Yung iba nasa bahay, tapos yung iba may gadget, yung iba naman hindi talaga kaya, walang ang signal sa kanilang bahay. So you need to also be conscious that not everyone is, the same as you. So you also need to exercise that skill of putting yourself in the shoes of others, so that ikaw din, whatever industry you are serving, mas conscious ka sa different realities ng people that you are dealing with. And then lastly, combination siya ng what to do and what to do. Itong pang number 5 ko is keeping your heart and your brain in check. So, naniniwala ako naman sa kasabihan na follow your heart. Pero hindi ako naniniwala na yun lang yung dapat mong i-follow. So yun yung don't ko, na huwag ka masyado magtiwala sa kung ano sinasabi ng puso mo, because the times that we are living in right now, kailangan hand in hand yung ating brain at saka heart when we make our decisions. We also have to be practical. So kaya ako, for me, yun nga, it's a very cliche thing that, follow your heart, follow your dreams. Pero minsan, hindi pwedeng dire-diretso ka lang doon sa follow your heart, follow dreams, kasi ang daming variables that you have to take into account. Kaya always balance it out. Learn how to look at the practical side of things. Then that would still allow us to create risks, to take risks. Pero calculated yung ating risks. So, yun yung aking top 5, what to do and what not to do.
Salamat, Tita G, sa 5 tips mo on how to survive the office jungle. Kung gusto niyo pa ng more tips and advices or mga cool contents, just follow Tita G on Facebook, IG, and on TikTok. Kaya bago tayo magpatuloy, mga ka-Y TV, mamimigay muna tayo ng 100 peso loan via GCash. Yay! Kaya last week, tinanong namin kayo, kung what values do we develop when we acknowledge our mistakes and commit not to repeat them? At ang tamang sagot ay humility! And congratulations sa ating winner dahil may tama ka! Paki-message ang ACY page kung paano mo makiklaim ang iyong prize. Oh, handa na ba kayo para sa tanong ng episode natin today? Ito ang isang tanong, isang sagot. Ang tanong, what is the key in having a successful transition from college life to office life? I-type ang inyong sagot sa ating comment box below at ang unang makakasagot ng tama ay siyang mananalo. #ChooseMe! Ia-announce namin ang tamang sagot at ang lucky winner sa susunod na episode, kaya abangan! Good luck!
Mahirap talaga makasurvive sa opisina, lalo na kung hindi ka sanay. Kaya naman, nagtanong-tanong tayo sa ating mga Kawai TV ng ilang tips kung paano sila nakasurvive at makakasurvive sa office jungle. Roll VTR!
Simula ako sa dasal. Bago magtrabaho, hindi din naging mahirap ang trabaho dahil mga pare, madre at estudyante ang aking kasama.
Nag-focus lang ako sa task at hand. Tinatry ko maging preoccupied kapag nasa trabaho para yung politics within the job na pwede mag-cause ng issue ay mabawasan.
One is by decorating my desk with simple things that make me happy, like photos. Next is by taking short breaks from time to time. And lastly, by having my own support system.
Be nice to everyone by thinking before speaking. Hindi ibig sabihin na makipag-besties or maging super fake ka sa office. Mag-ingat ka lang sa mga bibitawan mong salita para wala silang maging rason na i-badmouth ka.
When stuck in a stressful work environment, I make sure to pause, breathe, take a walk, just to make sure na I don't do or I don't make any major decisions while I'm stressed, worried, sad, or angry.
I survived the office jungle by trusting that my capabilities will add value to my company and acknowledging that I'm not perfect, I might commit mistakes, and I always think that every day is an opportunity to be better.
I make sure that I separate my personal and my work life. Second is, nagsiset ako ng boundaries and marunong ako magsabi ng no sa mga bagay na ayoko talaga or hindi ako nag-a-agree. And then, third is to build a good relationship with your seniors. It can make work less, little stressful.
Oh! Isa man dyan ay magamit mo sa pakikibaka mo sa opisina. Kapit lang mga Kawai TV! Makakaya mo rin yan! Aming paalala, huwag malilito, huwag magpapalito, at huwag malilito ng iba. Yun! Laging piliin ang tama at doon tayo sa true lang!
Bago tayo maghiwa-hiwalay, ay bababaunan muna namin kayo ng kaunting food for the soul. Halika, baunin ninyo ang aming pa-take home.
And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works. From Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24. Bilang Kristiyano, tungkulin natin na mag-encourage ng iba. It is part and parcel of the gospel that we have embraced and we are preaching. Isang buhay na pagsasabuhay ng ebanghelyo ang pag-anyaya sa iba na kumilos sa pag-ibig at mabubuting gawa, saan man tayo naroroon. Paaralan, simbahan, tahanan, at maging sa opisina man.
Sana ay marami kayong natutunan sa ating episode ngayong araw na ito.
At kung kayo ay nag-enjoy, please like and share ang ating episode para mas marami pang kabataan ang mag-enjoy at matuto.
And that's it for today mga Kawai TV. Pero don't you worry, dahil bukas ay mapapa-O tayo with Oh Well Wednesday at aalamin natin kung bakit nga ba kailangang unahin at piliin muna natin ang ating mga sarili.
Magkita-kita tayo ulit next Tuesday para sa panibagong episode ng Chooseday Tuesday.
Ako po ulit si Ate Marie.
Ako si Kuya Marbs.
Choose love.
Choose truth. And always choose to say yes to God. Bye-bye!
Ako po at ang aking misis ay Brother Obed Cabrillas or Daddy O, and my wife, Mommy Joy. We are both very active in serving Anawim Lay Missions, yung ating home for the abandoned poor. Kaya ang ginawa ko po, to support them also financially, ang ginawa ko po, may dalawa po akong aklat ito. Spell Out Your Love at saka Balance is Power. Now, pag binili nyo to sa bookstore, expensive. Pero ang ginawa ng mga publishers, tsaka namin, pinackage namin 2 books for only 500 pesos. I am naming the price not because I want to solicit, no. I'm actually soliciting para makatulong tayo sa Anawin. So, package the book, 2 libro na nakatulong ka pa sa Anawin. So, my very first book, puro acronym to, paborito to ni Direct Gav, at saka Balance is Power sa mga taong nawawala na ng balance. Life is all about balance, di ba? A balance of practicality and faith. A balance of health and wealth. Balance of very loving and very effective. Yan po. So, 2 books in one, 500 pesos po. So, feel free to message me in person. Just message us and we will deliver. God bless.
YTV Youth TV, your TV.